Welcome Tenno, how's it going? In today's recording we'll be taking a look at a Volt Shinobi build. So, we'll be getting to the pros and cons of this build in a second, but before we do I'd like to say that there's a Discord server link down in the description which you can click and join if you want to share your builds, thoughts, or just communicate with me. I met quite a few of you, some of you in game, and I really do like interacting with you. If you want to show off one of your builds in any of the future videos, I urge you to go and contact me directly, either through comments or Discord. There's timestamps in this video for people who want to get to the point or just get to the interest points a lot quicker. So before we get into the build and pros and cons of everything, let's take a look at how this functions. So we're going to summon Steel Path Corrupted Heavy Gunners and see how this works. So now they're shooting at me. I'm going to very quickly go away from that. And now let's kill them all. And there they all go. So let's take away the invisibility. So as you saw there, it's very easy to go invisible very quick. No crazy moves or something difficult or like some sorcery. Essentially what you're looking at there is Quiver, which is a Vara subsumed ability. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons before we go into the build. The pros of this build is that it allows you to use Volt's abilities to their full potential without any drawbacks. So you can protect any point, make it invincible with your shields. You can use his speed and also his augment for damage boosting. Yeah, the only con I can find here is you need a sentinel type of companion. So any type of sentinel that you like, you can make a build that drops energy continuously, although you don't really need to worry about energy consumption. So now that we've talked about that, let's go through how you go invisible, and then we'll go into the build. So if you're wanting to use his shield, it's a little bit more tricky. So usually what you would do is you would tap 4, then roll back, and look up left real quick. Or maybe if you're playing like this, I don't know. So, how hard is this? So, 4, shift, and you got it. So, I recommend you practice, of course, before you go into that. It's very simple, you don't have to do it super quickly. All you have to do is, while walking back, tap 4 and then shift, while looking at the sentinel. Make sure you hit the sentinel, which is a pro tip. Now, an easier way to do this with a lot more control, especially if you have a shield, because this makes it a whole lot harder to hit the sentinel, because it accelerates the arrow. It's still possible, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, the best way to do it is aim down sights, but you don't really have to do that if you're skilled enough, so you can just do this. You'll get used to it and how it works in a few tries. It's not too difficult. You can also, if you're in the air, you can still perform the same maneuver, although you only have one chance, unfortunately. So, if you're in the air, you can still do it, but you can roll back multiple times. So, keep that in mind. That's how you deal with going invisible. It works all the time. The only other way I could imagine is if you're bullet jumping, you can still do it. No need to roll. And that's how you go invisible. Very simple and straightforward. It only takes a little bit of practice. Now, the cool thing about this is people will really appreciate your skill level. So if you're playing on multiplayer and you have teammates, if you can predict their movement and shoot them with an arrow and make them invisible, or just when you're moving in a straight line, I'm sure that will be a pleasant surprise to friends or just random people you play with. So yes, there's even a skill ceiling that's not too low for this, so if you're into that, that's great. Now let's take a look at the build. So one cool thing about this is how flexible the build is. It's insanely flexible, so you can implement any playstyle you like. And we'll take a look at 3 different playstyles here, so you can check this out. Of course, there's timestamps for them, so you can skip to the one that interests you the most. The Archon Shards slots are completely optional. We'll get into them and how you can use them in a second. So let's take a look at this build and see which mods can be removed and which mods can be played with. So the only mods you really need here are the bottom mods. So these 4 mods are the only ones that need to stay there for this to work. You also need Quiver from Ivara. And this is very useful because it boosts your strength from 139 to 199, giving you a lot more damage if you're going to be using Shocking Trooper. So, these two mods are completely optional. I'll show you how you can use them to get the most out of them in different playstyles. So, how does this work? We have range, which makes this a lot easier to use even when you're moving really quickly. We have ability duration, which gives us a nice 27-second duration. With this mod, we get a 30.6. So no, this is not really mandatory. You get like 27.18 seconds. Not even 3 seconds are lost. So this mod can definitely be removed. It's not that big of a deal. You can recast it as many times as you like. So not necessary. We have Rush because why not? Again, optional. Shocking Trooper is the augment that boosts corrosive, radiation, or just gives you electrical damage to your weapons, which is really cool if you use viral and need electrical damage. We'll get into this as well. All builds and FashionFrame will be at the end of the video. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Arcane Fury is optional, but it gives a lot of damage to your melee weapons. So, we have 60 seconds of our shield, which is really useful for any defense target, making it completely invincible to all damage, including like melee damage from enemies. We have a speed boost, which is great because people in 30-meter radius can pick this up. So you're a huge team player, unlike my original Volt. We also have this, which is for damage boosting and stunning enemies if you need to. Again, plenty of things to memorize, and the skill ceiling is high. So this was a default way of me playing. This was a very basic build. What you saw there was I was using my Prisma Scanna, and I wiped out the enemy. We'll get into the melee weapon in a second. So that's one way of playing. You can be invisible and attack the enemy in whichever way you want. Now the second way of playing, so this is the second build, completely different. So you can throw on aerodynamic, very important. Then you go to the Exiles and throw on Boreal's Anguish. These two mods combined work wonders. Now why? Not only does it give you damage reduction from the Aura mod, so we have an additional 6 seconds in air, 24% damage reduction in air, negative gravity while in air or wall latching, and also additional aim glide wall latch duration, so even longer do you stay in air. And also the passive is reduced damage by 20% when airborne, so basically like 44 negation and damage, even though you really don't need it. So why are these two mods useful? Why would you want to stay in air? What some people like to do is combine Volt's shield to do Inadem attacks. So some of you might be familiar with this. When you go in Carnal form, you throw radiation projectiles while in air. That also spreads corrosive. And with melee influence, which is this one, we can spread all of that damage with electrical procs. So what people like to do is throw on their shield, zap it, and there we have our electrical damage. So let's go on and take on the enemy. So now we're, let me put down the shield. I don't want to bug poop them around. Now that we've gone in Carnal mode, let's just go ahead and start. So the reason why this is so good is because we have corrosive and radiation, which makes them start attacking each other. So this is additional crowd control on top of everything else. You can see that it spreads damage as well. And there you go. Those were level 195 corrupted heavy gunners on steel path. So yes, you can use this to stay away from the enemy, crowd control them with radiation, and on top of all of that, spread damage and kill everyone while being at a safe distance. This is a very good build. You can copy it. This also has a Prime Smite Corrupt, to keep that in mind. You can switch this out for something different, like maybe Reach if you want to get close up and personal every now and then. So the reason why we got radiation is because that's the default that drops from enemies, and also finishers pretty much give you like 40% damage reduction, so you'll become even more tanky and harder to take down. That's the second way of playing. Now the third way of playing this would have to be using something like, let's just say the Zorus, a great throwing melee weapon. Again, you can use anything else. What I would do here is I would take something like additional combo multiplier to boost me from 2 times 2 to times 3 combo multiplier, or maybe just 2 if you don't have it modded that way. For the, well, aura slot, you can just, or sorry, the Exilus, you can just throw onto anything else, like, I don't know, moving this and then adding this. So you can do that if that's how you want to play. There we go. Now we've barely changed this build at all. What we're gonna do is take our Zorus. The build, yes, of course. So this is the build we have here. You can copy this build easily. We have melee influence. You might notice how we're modded for only corrosive and there's no electrical procs in sight. The truth of it is, you don't really need to have like an electrical proc here. You can have corrosive, like you can see it there, but this weapon throws around electrical procs very commonly without even needing to have it officially. Meaning that we don't even have to use our shield or our electrical damage. So let's go on and simulate our enemy. There you go. Pull out the Zorus, and no boosts, no damage boosting. Throw it once, throw it twice, everyone's dead. Now what if we do a damage boost? Let's go ahead and summon them again. Do a damage boost there. Refresh that. Throw it once. And they are insta-killed. There you go. That's what it looks like when you use the Zorus. It's a very good weapon because it's, well, sort of complements Volt the best. So now that we've taken a look at that, there's plenty of other ways. You can just grab a heavy attack weapon like this one. You can modify this as you please. I don't know, maybe you want to throw on like a different aura mod. So let's go for the enemy. A little bit of speed. Not the most efficient weapon in killing, right now at least. But it's fun, it's nice. Right. And we're done. As you can see, I don't really have to worry too much about energy consumption because it's already so low. You don't really need any efficiency mods. But now that all of that is out of the way, and you're still watching, hopefully, if you are, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. So let's take a look at what you can do with the Archon Shards. So throwing on 2 of these will give you the ability to completely armor strip enemies, making all of your weapons that use corrosive insanely powerful. Unfortunately, my melee weapon uses viral and not corrosive, so it doesn't really benefit from that. Now, let's take a look at how you can modify this for your own playstyle. If you take these mods out of the way, and you want to do something else. So let's just say you want to throw on Blind Rage for way more strain, combining with Molt Augmented, to use like Shocking Trooper up a lot. What you can do there is, if you have low efficiency, instead of throwing on an efficiency mod ruining your duration, instead of doing that, what I recommend you throw on a singular Tau Forged Amber Shard, and you pick 75% efficiency on energy orbs, giving you a lot more ability, efficiency, and compensating for that, like, you know, low efficiency basically. Hope I'm not confusing anybody. So you don't need to throw on things like if I can find, yeah, Cleaning Expertise, you don't have to throw it on, you don't have to throw on the other one. So you can keep the freedom of slots with Archon Shards. You can also throw on any other Arcane here for your playstyle. So now that we've taken a look at that, I'm pretty sure I covered everything so far. And we're gonna go into a conjunction mission to show the viability of this build. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can go ahead and just drop them on the comment section. So, I hope I answered everything so far. If you're curious, or if you have your own like build ideas, do share them. I'd love to see them. So now that we've done that, let's share the FashionFrame and the builds for both of the weapons, and we'll move on to gameplay. The appearance is very simple. So you don't have to have these color palettes, because some of these are legacy colors. You can turn them on in the options and then accessibility, and then turn on the legacy color palettes, which gives you different colors on the same color palette. I don't know why they did that. So we have this gray one you can throw on. It's just like a washed out white we have the blue one, which is very elegant. It's this one right here. And we also have this one, which is sort of optional. You can throw on different colors that represent you the most. So you can have purple, blue, orange, anything that's vibrant. This color is sort of like a washed out bronze. And by the way, if you want to know how to perfectly style your fashion on your warframes and want to have like a sure color palette combination that always makes your warframes look beautiful, stay tuned for the next video, because it's going to be a fashion frame video which gives you pretty much perfect ways of styling your warframe and weapons, making anything look good or perfect. You can copy the energy or emissive or the energy. It's really optional. Let's go on to the attachments. Attachments are the following. The colors, we have washed out whites with the red that we were using on the warframe. We're also using a washed out bronze, which is pretty much just this here. As you can see, it's just a legacy color, so that it is. Emissive and energy are optional. That's your choice. Cyandana is a Tenno Cyandana on Steam. Luckily, cross save is active, so you can just log in on your friend's PC. Hopefully, it doesn't steal your account and all your little credits, which I don't have, unfortunately. These are the colors. You can copy them. Again, a row of these things. Stay tuned for the fashion frame video. It's gonna share all of my personal fashion frame. So that's for him. As for the build on a melee weapon, which is my main one that I use all the time, this is it. We're using viral, melee influence to spread that viral and insta-kill enemies. Tenno increases status chance for a whole lot more damage, and it's very common to proc or trigger. The Riven mod doesn't really have to have the electrical proc, but if you can get it, it would free up a slot like weeping wounds. Otherwise, you're gonna have to throw on like a dual stat mod for electricity to be on there, so you can have viral and electricity naturally. But a Riven mod will do wonders. So that's the build for this. You can see it's pretty simple. Of course, you can modify it as you please. For the dual toxicists, which I'm not sure if I made a video on it. I don't think so. At least not a dedicated for it. There's a video on all of my strongest weapons though. This is the build for it. This is the Riven mod, damage and critical chance, negative 30% to damage to Grenier, dead header. Now for my main Volt, which is the one that I've showed off quite a few times on my channel, this is a Volt that I really don't recommend you copy. And if you're gonna go in the comment section and cry about how I don't use discharge, that's because using discharge is not not using discharge is not a sin against humanity, alright? So just chill out. I've had quite a few comments talk about that. So this is a very personal build. It's a solo build. I don't think I remember failing a mission with this ever. Well, ever. That's a big statement. 99.9% of the time, I'm pretty much soloing any mission, no matter how difficult it is. So pretty much anything. This is just super high durability with super high damage. So if we were to go and see how durable I really am against these enemies. I'm not moving, using melee or anything. Okay, now I have to move. So they're pretty aggressive. Oh boy. Right. So I can stand in one spot, obviously. Ah, fuck. Okay, usually I would self-revive there, I promise. Right, so if I were to use the build how I usually do, I will go speed, fourth, and let's go. So, having the ability to insta-kill everyone with any weapon I use, pretty much combined with, you know, the extreme survivability just means I don't have to worry about anything. So this is a build that I could go into a mission for like 3 or 4 hours and not really have too many problems. Sure, I'd have to think fast and use shields every now and then. Well, commonly, actually. But other than that, it's a great build. I don't really feel like changing. I just wanted to switch it up and see what it would feel like to have like a completely different way of playing Volt while keeping all of his benefits like these three right here. Archon Shards are optional, so that's it. Now let's go into the mission that I promised. So Steel Path Conjunction. We're going to be taking this build. We don't really need a primary, so dual Toxicist, my Prisma Scanna, and let's throw ourselves into the mission right now. Right, so let's begin. Damn. Here we go. There they go. Let's boost the damage, keep an eye on the invisibility. You can see enemies are just basically just cheese at this point. Right, 10 seconds left. I gotta do it now. Damn, I'm really out of practice. Nope. Nope. Alright, let's try that one more time. But yeah, Shade makes you invisible, so that's cool. I missed. Thank God I hit it once. Yeah, you do need to practice in pretty much every burner. So when I said you need like a, you have like a skill ceiling, it's kind of not too high, but it's not low either, so. Let's try and do this clean. There we go, we got it. Oh, he's coming early. Right, let's refresh our invisibility. Oh, it's the regular Stalker. Oh my god. He won't last long. The nice thing about this type of invisibility is that Stalkers can't really take that over. Oh, here he is. I thought we killed him, so. Nice thing about this is that Stalkers or Acolytes can't really take it away all too easily. So I missed. Now we did. Now we hit it. So I'll get better very quickly. They don't stand a chance. Excusez-moi, my French. Alright, time to refresh. Nice. We're getting better. Right, so let me skip to the Acolytes for you. Right, so we're gonna go up against Sentients, and I'm guessing the Thrax soldiers are very close. Feeling everyone's gonna drop here at once, which is great. If you want like a pro tip on how to keep like throwing invisibility on without messing it up, don't worry about your shields or like when you're gonna get killed, so focus on shooting your shot rather than keeping an eye on your health or running away so far. Just don't Don't overthink it. It's not too crazy. Here they all come. We never stood a chance. These guys don't know I'm here, so they're not really going to be using their little attacks. What was that? Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, not paying attention to your invisibility can be deadly. So let's do a little invisibility. I freaked out there. I'm not using my own advice. I believe that's, well, I think I've shown enough. Maybe I can go way deeper, but it'd be just a repetition of going invisible. And I don't think that'd be too interesting. Plus, the video is probably already 20 minutes. So, that pretty much concludes today's recording. So, I hope so if there's any questions, again, the comment section is open. So, if I've interested you or you want to see more content like this, do drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I love to have you on board. Anyways, that's it for now. I don't think I missed anything. I have a feeling that I missed like one thing, but if I did, I'll leave it like an explanation in the description. Right, Tenno, I hope you all enjoyed this recording. It was very fun to make, including the build. I'd love to see what you do with it, and yeah. Also, there's not a single video about this, so it's not too surprising. I guess the market for like Invisible Volt is small, but there you go. An original new way to play Volt. I hope you all enjoyed this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next